Aina, a wealthy woman with influence to rival kings, challenged Olofin's authority. The dispute between them stirred unrest, and the Oba of Benin, far to the east, sent his envoys to mediate. When the envoys arrived, they saw the fishing nets along the shore and mistook them for preparations for war. In a long time, before the modern hum of cars and the chatter of Lagosians, there was a quiet land where the sun kissed the earth with warmth, and the breeze from the Atlantic brought whispers from distant lands. The land, though calm on the surface, was a place where history danced in every shadow, and the spirit of the Awori people sang through the swaying palms. It was on Lagos Island that Olonfi, the wise and revered leader of the Awori, stood atop a hill. Below him, the island stretched out like a fertile garden, lush with life. His 10 sons gathered around him, their faces reflecting the same determination that marked their father's rule. "Look," Olonfi said, gesturing towards the land. "This land is ours, as it was given to us by Olodumare. As we divide it amongst ourselves, remember this: the man who has people is richer than the man who has money. Our strength lies in our unity." His sons nodded, and the land was divided. Aromire, the youngest, ventured to the nearby island, where he planted peppers that grew tall and vibrant. From this humble beginning, the future of Lagos would rise, a city built on the sweat of its people and the power of its leaders. But even as the island thrived, conflict brewed like a storm on the horizon. Aina, a wealthy woman with influence to rival kings, challenged Olofin's authority. The dispute between them stirred unrest, and the Oba of Benin, far to the east, sent his envoys to mediate. When the envoys arrived, they saw the fishing nets along the shore and mistook them for preparations for war. As the Oba forces descended upon the island, the land trembled. Battles raged, and Olonfin's rule came to an end. A war chief named Aseru, fierce and cunning, took command. "A man who uses force is afraid of reasoning," the elders whispered, but Aseru had little time for wisdom. His path was one of conquest. Aseru's exploits stretched far beyond Lagos, but like a river that must eventually meet the sea, his journey ended in Iseri. His body was brought back to Benin by Asipa, who was rewarded with the title of ruler of Edo Island. Asipa's son, Ado, became the first Oba of Lagos, marking the beginning of a royal lineage that would start the test of time. As the years passed, the peaceful shores of Lagos began to echo with the sounds of foreign voices. In 1472, the Portuguese arrived, their ships cutting through the waters like blades. The explorers, led by Rio de Sequeira, marveled at the beauty of the land and named it Lagos after a coastal town in Portugal. But what they saw as opportunity, the people of Lagos saw as a tide that would bring both fortune and suffering. The Portuguese brought trade, exchanging goods with the locals, but they also brought the darkness of the Atlantic slave trade. The once peaceful shores became tainted with the cries of those torn from their homes, bound in chains and shipped across the sea. Amidst this turmoil, the kings of Lagos sought to navigate the waters of diplomacy. The lizard that jumped from the high iroko tree said it would praise itself if no one else did. The Obas would say as they forged alliances with the Portuguese and later the Brazilians. By the early 19th century, Lagos had become a key player in the region, its markets bustling with life. Yet, as the Oyo Empire crumbled, the weight of responsibility fell heavier on Lagos. It grew in stature, but the city's soul yearned for freedom from the shadows of slavery. One day, in the heart of the city, a new Oba was crowned. His name was Akitoye, and his vision was clear. The sun does not forget a village just because it is small, he told his people. He sought to end the slave trade that had brought so much pain to his land. But change, as it often does, brought resistance. The merchants of Lagos, whose wealth depended on the trade, opposed Akitoye's plans. They deposed him and installed his brother Kosoko on the throne. Exiled and defeated, Akitoye journeyed to Europe where he met with the British. The British, who had outlawed slavery in 1807, saw in Akitoye a potential ally. The winds of history shifted once again, and in 1851, British warships appeared on the horizon. The bombardment of Lagos began, and the city's fate was sealed. As the cannons roared and the sky darkened with smoke, Akitoye stood on the deck of a British ship, his heart heavy with both hope and fear. The battle ended with Kosoko's defeat, and Akitoye was reinstated as Oba. With the signing of the Treaty of 1852, Lagos officially abolished slavery, but freedom came at a cost. The city, once independent, now found itself under the watchful eye of the British. Yet, even under the foreign rule, Lagos remained resilient. Its spirits, like the pepper plants that once grew in Aromere's field, could not be easily crushed. The river may be wide, but it will never forget its source, the people would say as they continued to build, to grow, and to thrive. As the 20th century dawned, Lagos emerged as the beating heart of Nigeria. Its streets pulsed with life, from the ancient markets where elders shared stories of the past to the modern skyscrapers that reach toward the future. Today, with over 50 million people, Lagos is the largest city in Africa, a testament to the strength of a people who have endured, adapted, and flourished. But Lagos is more than just a city. It is a living story, where every street, every building, and every face tells a tale. It is a place where the past meets the present, and where the future is shaped by those who dare to dream. And so, the story of Lagos continues, an endless tale of resilience, hope, and the unbreakable spirit of a people who, like the ocean that laps at their shores, will always rise.